Hey guys, Kenny Wisdom here with another Standard Monday, although I will admit this is going up a little bit late today, but we are here, we're going to play the Mega Mewtwo deck. So, this is kind of the deck that's getting the most hype in the Standard format, it would seem. You can see the Mega Mewtwo on your screen here, the Psychic Infinity, allowing you to do 30 more damage times the amount of energy cards attached to both active Pokemon, so kind of punishing your opponent for attaching a lot. We also have this Mewtwo, which damage change is a huge attack on. Shatter Shot's a good attack early, and really this deck is just very, very aggressive, but can also have controlling elements with things like Garbodor. I took this list from Brandon Cantu's 6 Prizes article, so definitely check that out. Thanks to him for posting the list. I've actually been more focused on Expanded lately since the Arizona Regionals is expanded, so I haven't played too much Standard, although I do have a general understanding of it. So we're going to play a few matches today and see how this goes. The rest of the deck I think is pretty standard. This Mewtwo is for the mirror because you can see that Psychic Infinity does not apply weakness. So Brandon in his article on 6 Prizes just wrote a few things about how this Mewtwo was just kind of interesting to have a single copy of in the mirror match. We've got Hoopa to find EXs. We've got Shaman EX, of course. And then we have the Garbodor suite. Just kind of, Garbodor is a really difficult Pokemon to deal with right now because there's no tool removal in Standard. So the only way that you can really deal with it is by Lysandering it up and knocking it out. The rest of the deck is pretty standard. 4 Sycamore, 2N, a Lysander, a Pokemon Ranger, just kind of covering your bases there. We've got a full 4 of all the regular items, 2 Mega Turbo just to kind of accelerate a little bit on to Mewtwo, and then we have the Stadium Suite here with 3 Shine of Memories, which I've actually played with this deck a few times. I haven't loved this card as much. I think 3 copies might be a little bit much, but again, I don't know much about the Standard format. I'm not really prepared to kind of make changes to someone like Cantu's list, who I consider to be a very good player and probably more educated about the format than I am at this point. And then we have Parallel City, which I think has just been a really big card over these past few months, and I think will continue to be going into this season's Standard format. So we got some Spirit Links and Float Stones to turn on the Garbodor and help with your evolution on the Mewtwo, and then 7 Psychic and 3 DCE rounding out the deck. So I think this is probably the most inherently powerful deck in Standard, and I think it's going to be a big role player in the new Standard, so we're going to see what happens. Alright, we are going to see what we got here. We won the coin flip, so of course we are going to go ahead and go first. Starting with the Mewtwo in our opening hand, pretty reasonable hand outside of that. Let's see what happens. Opponent's going to go ahead and take some time to set up, and then we're going to hopefully have a good matchup for you guys. No basic Pokemon. Onto the bench, Lugia. Alright. It's going to punish EXs. Let's actually fire off a Trainer's Mail real quick, see what we can hit. I guess I'll take this to Ultra Ball away. Let's attach here. Ultra Ball away. And Ultra Ball in one of the shrines. Let's go ahead and just take Trubbish. Let's start by bench locking our opponent. Done. And just fire off the Sycamore and see what we can find off of this. Alright, many more resources. Trainer's Mail finds an N. Let's go ahead and take that. Let's go ahead and attach here. I don't actually think we need to play any more of these cards. I'm just going to go ahead and end my turn. Could have played the Ultra Ball, but I don't really want to discard anything. I'd rather keep all the energy live for the future, and I really don't want to go through too many resources. Team Flare Grunt's big there. Gonna shut us down a little bit, but wow, our opponent just has to pass the turn. Let's go ahead and Mega Evolve our Mewtwo. Oh, and our opponent just concedes. Alright, so that's that game. Didn't really show much about the deck, but maybe it's just the power of it. People get so scared of playing against the consensus best deck that they go ahead and just concede. Hey guys, just here with another match. That one was not quite that interesting, so hopefully we can get a good one this time. Let's call Tails with our trusty Monocoin. Ooh, it betrayed us this time. Playing against Ding Hoa. This standard format seems to be kind of mega dominated. Like I said, I've been spending a lot more time preparing for people who are helping people prepare rather, who are going to the Arizona Regional Championships, which is expanded. But standard seems interesting. It seems like a lot of people are hyping Mewtwo, Scizor, Rayquaza, Groudon, so all these kind of big mega Pokemon, which should be interesting to see. It's kind of not that much of a departure from the old standard format, or I guess not that much of a departure from standard formats that have existed in the past, but kind of a departure from our most recent one, since we focused on these big mega evolutions. So although I'm not going, I'll be really interested to see the results of Form Orlando. Opponent's choosing to go first, of course. Not our greatest start. We're going to have to start with a Trubbish. I've also noticed this deck can tend to mulligan a lot, even though we have a reasonable number of basics. I think it's just that it can mulligan a lot, and then some of the decks, some of the starters in the deck aren't so great. Like, you don't want to start with Shaman, Hoopa, or Trubbish, which basically just leaves Mewtwo's, and even the one of the Mewtwo's that we have is kind of mainly for the mirror, so it doesn't really end up working out all the time. Opponent's being a little bit slow here. Maybe they have a bad connection to the game or something. Alright, and we are off. To another Lugia, this time in EX form. So it has a similar sort of X-Ball-y type attack. I'm going to go ahead and use Farewell Letter immediately. Typically not a good sign. Not that we're working with anything too special either. Alright. Gonna go ahead and boost the HP by quite a bit. Alright, so our opponent has an Ultra Ball. Not wasting too much time getting ready to get it set up here. Let's see the discard. Thank you. Hex Maniac, Professor Sycamore, and Unknown. Alright, so it looks like our opponent is playing the Rayquaza deck. So let's see how fast of a start they can get here. Getting rid of the Farewell Letter Unknown immediately was a bad sign, but playing like the Ultra Ball and then getting a Rayquaza is typically a good sign. Although now we're seeing a Dive Ball for a Clauncher. Okay, alright. So I see what our opponent's up to. Gonna go ahead and drop that onto the bench. And now NS. Great. So that's really good. Gonna go ahead and reset our hand, which is exactly what we needed, although our opponent has a pretty good start too. Alright, much better hand here for us. We actually have a Mewtwo. We have an Energy. We have some supporters to do things with. There's a Carbink. Part of the reason why we have the Garbodor in order to shut off the Safeguard. There's a DCE. And if we can, I would like to just attach a basic energy to our Mewtwo here. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to, though. We're just going to leave this Trubbish active. We're not going to be able to do anything with the Mewtwo this turn. I think it's worth it just to fire off the Sycamore rather than give our opponents more cards. Let's go ahead and play this Parallel City facing this way, make our opponent get rid of one of their benched Pokemon. Well, they choose that. Like I said, their actions have been a little bit slow. Yeah, they just have to go ahead and get rid of the Clauncher there. I'm going to play the other Mewtwo down. I think we can pretty safely just pass here. Ultra Ball next turn, attach, go for the Mega Mewtwo, and then have a VS Secret follow up with a supporter card. Yeah, it seems fine. Let's go ahead and shift the turn back. And so our opponent going to have the ability to do 20 times the amount of energy attached to both Pokemon, plus the Fighting Fury belt. There's an end. It's going to reset things on our side. And let's see what happens. Okay, a little bit of a worse hand here. No guaranteed Mewtwo, but we do have supporters. We do have things going on. Another copy of Clauncher off of the Great Ball. So this card actually seems like it's going to be interesting. I think we're going to have to mainly go for like a damage swap type thing going on here, because we don't want to attach too much, although I guess even if we attach a lot with the damage, even if we attach a lot to do that, it's going to be kind of rough on us. Alright, gonna go ahead and switch. I think we're just going to take this non-powered up Mewtwo and hit a Float Stone next turn. I think that's the right thing to do. Our opponent is going to have to switch as well. Switches to the card bank. I assume we're just going to see a pass of the turn here. Maybe our opponent's a little energy light. Oh, maybe they have some other things going for them. There's a rainbow attach, and it is our turn. All right. Well, let's not do that. Let's go ahead and play this Trainer's Mail and see what we can find. Found an N. Alright, our only option there, let's go ahead and Spirit Link one of these guys up. Could have failed the Trainer's Mail to draw off of Shaman, but I think, did our opponent play Supporter last turn? Yeah, I think it would have been better for us to, oh, they played the N last turn, that's right. I think it probably would have been better for us to have just done that, but let's go ahead and fire off the N here. We are giving our opponent more cards, but I don't necessarily want to Sycamore back all of those things. And let's see what we can find. We do have the Garbodor. It does hit a Float Stone, which is nice for us. So let's see, this Lugia can do energy cards or energy 2, 4, 6, 8, 110, but that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. All right, here we go. Let's Mega Evolve. Let's go ahead, Float Stone, get this guy out of the way, evolve to Garbodor, and Psychic Infinity for the knockout. Taking a single prize during another Mewtwo, not great there. We should be able to outrace the Lugia. So let's see what happens with the Lugia. So as it stands currently, they can do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 110. If they attach another DCE, they'll be doing 130, 150. But if we have the damage change with a Shrine of Memories, that's rough. Also, if they do that, we are going to be hitting them for 3, 6, 9, 12, 170. If we attach the DCE, we'll have it. Yeah, so it's kind of a, maybe I was actually wrong. Maybe it's kind of a rough position for them to be in. It's always weird when you have these kind of two big energy EXs attacking. And it looks like our opponent is mainly just kind of has like an EX heavy deck. It doesn't seem like there's really a huge theme here. Although maybe they are more Rayquaza focused, and our Parallel City is just kind of locking them out. Alright. Getting rid of the stadium there. So let's see. So we can do... I'm going to knock out there, right? So this is going to be 30, 60, 90, 100, 130, 60, 90, 210. Alright. So let's drop this Mewtwo, Spirit Link it, attach to it, and then Psychic Infinity for the knockout. So that's going to be big. Our opponent's not really left with much, and we have a Mewtwo with a lot of damage built up, but with another one coming down on the bench with the Mega in our hand. So barring something like an N or like a Delinquent, we should be in pretty good shape here. And this is one of the things I have kind of found with playing this Mewtwo deck, is just there's a lot of just kind of inevitability because your guys are so big and they don't require that much energy. You know, even though you are playing off of the idea of having a lot of energy, you know, you can do it when 1 or 2 attachments and kind of punish your opponent for having to do the same thing. So there's a lot of times where I'm just like, yeah, whatever, I'll trade some prizes with you, but I'm going to get ahead first, and then I can hopefully stay ahead, and, you know, I have this, you know, Mega Mewtwo kind of a stage 1 just being built up here. Gonna go ahead and promote the Floatstone Pokemon. And so let's see, if we attach and attack here, we'll be doing 3, 6, 9, 12, 1,340 damage, which is not quite enough. Let's go ahead. If we do 140 plus 1, it doesn't really work out like that. So let's see. If we just hit them with 3 energy attached, they arrow ball us. 140. I don't think we really get punished for that. So yeah, let's just go ahead and retreat. Oh no, whoa. Almost did a bad thing. Go ahead and hit them with Psychic Infinity. Didn't need to attach the energy there, but I feel like even after we knock out this Pokemon, we will not have won the game. So I feel like attaching the energy and just kind of building it up, even if we are punishing ourselves a little with the Lugia, is going to be better, just to hopefully steamroll over whatever our opponent has. And now our opponent's in a tough spot because they have to say, okay, well, you know, if I attach this Lugia, it's going to be my only energy in play, and it's going to go down, but also, like, if I attach somewhere else, I don't really have anything built up yet, so they're kind of in a rough spot. They do choose to attach to the Lugia. And there's a special charge. Go ahead and take the other double colorless out of their discard pile. Boom. Big 150. Let's start our turn. Oh, we can just damage swap now. Or damage change, rather. Oh, no, sorry, it's swapped. It switches them. Woo! Alright, let's attach here. And just hit with Psychic Infinity. 2 more prizes. Just need 1 prize left to seal up the game. Drawing the Versus Seeker there is pretty big. Our opponent is left with no energy on the board, unable to use abilities, and 3 cards in hand. Alright, Sycamore is pretty good there. Our opponent does have 2 DCE back in the deck after the special charge. If this game goes on for long, they're certainly going to have access to that. Let's see what they've got. Prize, Birch, and Escape Rope Fighting. Klotzer. Alright, so if they have they don't even have the Mega though. I'm just going to do Intensifying Burn. Score the knockout there. And then if we do have Lysander to discard pile, so we will be able to Shatter Shot, Lysander one of these for the last prize. Looks right. Promote. Versus Seeker, Lysander, this guy. Just boom, go ahead. Shatter Shot, that's weakness, that's a knockout, and that's the last prize. So we are going to take the victory there. That was interesting. Kind of a non-standard deck, or you know, maybe I don't know that much about the format, so maybe it's actually kind of a usual build of a deck, but kind of showed the power, I think, of Mewtwo versus other big EXs and, you know, potentially big Megas. I assume my opponent's running Megas with the deck. So that's kind of how the deck has gone, or the games I played have gone generally. We unlocked a Steam Siege pack. It's just that it's very difficult to kind of overcome Mewtwo if you're just playing from a raw kind of attacking standpoint. I haven't tested too many of the other decks in the format, so I'm sure that there is something that beats it. I know people are saying Scissor is good against it and generally good in the format, which is a deck I want to play in the future. But just from the things that I played, it just seems like Mewtwo is just really where I would start if I was going to play in a tournament, and kind of seems like just where you generally want to be. So that's all we're going to do for today. Hope you guys enjoyed that match, and let me know what you want to see next week here on Standard Monday.